Hello, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. Crazy Mississippi weather. Here we are, January the 21st. I'm out here in a t-shirt about to burn up. I know that sounds strange to a lot of you people, but it is hot out here. What we're doing today is we have an asparagus bed here behind me. We're planting the Jersey Giants. They are a hybrid asparagus. They don't seed up and keep multiplying. We have that for right out in front of the house here. It's probably one of the very few hybrids you'll see me mention on my videos that we allow on our property. What we want to do today is show you a little bit of the technique we use to put these things in the ground. We've dug a trench here about 8 to 10 inches deep, and in the center of this trench we mound it up after we have mixed in a little bit of fertilizer and compost in this. We take our asparagus roots that we get, we soak them in a bucket of water here for a while to wet the roots up, and then we take the roots and we make a V out of them. We put them down in this ground here and we set this thing up on top of that mound like that so that the roots kind of get a little bit better establishment that way, we've learned. And we plant these things about every 10 to 12 inches apart up on top of this mound. We've learned that we get better results if we do it that way. Maybe you can kind of see and get a little bit of the idea here about how we, once we get these things up here, when you wet those roots, the dirt sticks to them a lot better than it does if they're just dry. And then what we'll do is we'll take this dirt right here that we've thrown over to the side, we crumble it up, we put it back over the top of them. Now we don't want to fill this hole completely full of dirt. We come in here and crumble this up, get rid of anything out of it that doesn't really belong. And we cover our asparagus back up. Of course, now up north you're probably going to want to cover them a little deeper than we do here. But here, if I can get 3 inches of dirt on top of them, it's fine. And this spring, when they start to emerge, what we're going to do is come back in here and we're going to put more compost on top of them, and we're going to put more dirt on them until we eventually get up back to where the ground level was at, and then we'll mulch them real heavy, and we should be harvesting asparagus in a couple of years here that we can eat. Now we're going to be doing another bed here in a few minutes. Right now we're just extending this one here, and we'll get back with you as soon as we get this other bed started. Okay, we're back over here at our Whoville bed. We're doing a little bit of an experiment. For the last 2 years we've been experimenting with this Whoville bed about what will grow on it, what will be productive, and we've learned that there are some vegetables down south here that you just don't want to put on a Whoville bed. One of them being tomatoes, peas, English peas. You just don't want that kind of stuff on a Whoville bed. It doesn't do well. What we're learning does do well on the Whoville bed is things like kale and some other vegetables there. Onions, they seem to do pretty good. The multiplying onions, not the bulb onions. But what we're going to do is we're going to take one end of our Whoville bed here and we're going to designate it as a permanent bed for asparagus. What we have here, soaking in the water on this one, is the heirloom variety, which is the Mary Washingtons. And just like I showed you in the previous part of the video, we take them and we spread the roots apart on them. We put them down here in the hole. We make a mound of dirt in the center right through there like that. We put these things in. We've learned 8 to 12 inches seems to be a pretty good distance to put them. Kind of spread the roots out a little bit, and because we've wet them, the dirt sticks to the roots really, really well. And one thing, let me mention this about asparagus. Wanda and I love asparagus. Problem is, asparagus is not something that you can just harvest all the time. You only really get, even down south here where it stays warm a lot, you really only get like 3 harvests out of it a year. And it takes approximately 25 foot of row of asparagus per person in the family to eat it on a basis, not necessarily a regular basis, but to just have a meal every so often. So what we're doing is we're starting several beds on our property. Right now we have approximately 60 feet of row of asparagus behind the house back here. And what we're doing is we're adding more asparagus because we really want to be able to eat it on a more regular basis because of the health benefits that go along with it. So when we get a little further along here, we'll kind of show you what it looks like when we get through with it. All right, here we have the row completely finished. We have the asparagus up on the little mounds, about 8 to 12 inches apart. Got about 25 feet of row here. We're going to cover this up with dirt here in just a minute, about 2 inches deep, and be getting it ready for composting a little bit later on. Wanda and I love asparagus, like I told you before. We like it sauteed on the grill. We like to put it in the oven and bake it. A little bit of olive oil on it. The one thing we haven't done is canned it because there's something about the taste of it once you can it that just isn't appealing to our taste buds. Not to say that you can't do it. It's just that it's not something that we like doing. It's one of them things, it's a seasonal thing for us. We eat it when we have it in season, and when we don't worry about it. The Mary Washingtons that we plant here will make a red berry in the fall. And you can take this red berry when the plants begin to die, you can cut them down and hang them up. And once they've dried completely, you can harvest the berries off of them and replant those to grow more of the asparagus with, which is what we are hoping to be able to do. We have some seed harvested now, and perhaps in the near future we'll show you a video about how we prepare those seeds for putting in cups to grow up young asparagus plants. If you like what you've seen today, we appreciate it if you would share it and subscribe it with other people. Thank you.